I want you to put yourself into this situation. Your alarm goes off, you pull your phone out of the wall, you hurry up and get dressed, you jump in the car, and you just rush to school. That is how my mornings have been the past couple of weeks. And I always feel rushed whenever I get to school. I never feel prepared. And if I just dedicated 20 to 30 minutes every single morning to get prepared for the day, I would feel just a little bit more prepared. My students in my first period would get just a little bit more out of me, and they wouldn't get the teacher that needs coffee in order to get rolling in the morning. A while back, I read a book called Redeeming Productivity, and it was a book that was geared toward how to make yourself more productive within the context of being a good Christian steward. The author of this book, Reagan, had a couple of really good tips for starting your morning right and why you would want to start your morning this way. So for me, the things that are really important to me whenever I get up in the morning is I need just a few minutes of just alone time. And so that's what I'm prioritizing in my morning routine. I still have to get my kids up and ready. It's chaotic. So if I can wake up just 30 to 20 minutes earlier, then I can get my morning started the right way. After I start my morning cup of coffee, and I've given myself just a couple of minutes to get up and rolling, I can start my power morning. A power morning is a routine that Reagan developed. It is an acronym that stands for 5 different things that you can do to get your morning started off the right way. Your power morning doesn't have to be exactly like everybody else. And that's what I think is great about this system. You can kind of make it the way you want to. And even though it is an acronym, you don't have to do everything in the exact same order that it is illustrated here. Let's go through and identify each of these 5 different points. The first one is P, and that stands for prayer. Now, I do understand that some of you may not pray, but I do think that this can be life-changing. Every morning, whenever I wake up, I make sure to thank God for everything He's given me. I model all of my prayer after the Lord's Prayer. However, if this is something that you don't do, I have some friends that do meditation instead. And for me, prayer does include a form of meditation where I calm down. I try to clear my mind and just listen. And it's just that simple. Usually, if I'm being honest, this prayer portion only takes me 5 to 10 minutes. The next letter is O, and O stands for organization. This is where you write down all the things that you need to get done for the day. Now, one of the things that can be overwhelming with this step, and one thing that I find extremely helpful for myself, is that sometimes your list can grow extremely long. But don't fret, because the next portion of the organize or get organized is to number off your top 3 essential things. Just 3 things. Just go through and figure out what 3 things you need to get done for that day, and then just focus on those 3. This is a great way to say, yeah, I've got a lot of things to do, but if I can just get 3 done, then I'll feel like today was a success. The next step is to write. And I like to old school write because I am around digital things way too much. So what I like to do is I like to find a nice clean sheet of paper and start writing. Now, usually what I'm writing about in the morning is what I've read about, but that comes just a little bit later. In all of my journals, I have just random thoughts. All right. Sometimes it's notes, sometimes it's sketches, sometimes it's lots of different things. If I want to organize my thoughts, sometimes this is where I will put my to-do list and then identify my top 3 that I've got right there. Sometimes I'll come up with ideas for all of my different videos that I'm working on, or just a data dump, like just here's what I did for the day, and just dumping all my brain stuff. All right. Having a notebook like this is really helpful. And I also write throughout the entire day. I've got some of these. I've got other journals that are dedicated specifically for different things. Just write a little bit. It'll enrich your day. The next letter in the power routine is E, and that stands for exercise. And I know what you're thinking. How on earth are you going to get exercising in and praying in and organizing in and writing in? Well, don't worry about it, because the exercise that we're talking about is just do something small that will get your blood moving for the day. Do 10 push-ups, do 5 jumping jacks, run in place for 15 seconds. Do something that gets you up and get moving, so that it's not just your cup of coffee that's getting you moving in the morning. The last step in this routine is to read. What I like to read in the morning is scripture. I read 1 chapter a day and about 5 to 10 minutes. The reason why I choose to read scripture in the day is because it's always there, and I don't have to think about what to grab and to think about to read. Now, if you want to make reading more of a priority, whenever you're doing your organization and trying to line out what you're trying to plan for the day, then you can add that in later. Same thing with exercise. If you want to make exercising more of a priority, you can add that to be the thing that you want to focus on in your organization for the rest of the day. But reading is great because, especially as teachers, if you're not going to read, then man, how can we tell students to pick up a book and read? But there's lots of great books. Heck, pick up Lord of the Rings. And if you didn't like Lord of the Rings the first time, then I've got a suggestion for you. Try again. That's just my morning routine. You don't have to pick up my morning routine, but this one I felt like was really helpful. If you want to reset things over spring break is a great time to try that. You get to sleep in. If you want to start a morning routine, you can still sleep in and then just start the habit this week. And it doesn't have to be overwhelming. If you just want to dedicate 15 to 20 minutes to starting a morning routine, then just set that amount of time. Don't make it some monster that it has to be an hour and a half every single morning, because then you'll have to wake up at 4:30 in the morning. And most people don't want to do that. Unless you do, then that's cool too. Well, thank you for watching all the way through the video. If you felt like this was a helpful video, or if you enjoyed it, please like, subscribe, do all those things. Also, what's your morning routine look like? Put a comment down saying what your morning routines are, because man, maybe my morning routine won't work for you, but maybe you can help someone else find that perfect morning routine. All right, teacher, you are awesome. Relax the rest of spring break. I am also going to relax. See you later.